Welcome! We're about to dive deep into Zechariah chapter 9, a really remarkable passage written way back around 520 BC. Now, at that time, the Persian Empire was the undisputed superpower. But Zechariah, he delivers a message that looks way, way beyond his own time. It's a message packed with hope, conflict, and a prophecy so specific, it's pretty stunning.
So this is the big, mind-bending question we're going to tackle. How could a prophet, living centuries before, name a specific future enemy? We're going to see how this prophecy unfolds with incredible historical accuracy. But it all begins with a promise to a people who were just waiting.
So our analysis is going to kick off at verse 12. And it starts with this direct call to a group of people he calls the prisoners of hope. Folks who are just holding on, waiting for deliverance in a world that probably felt pretty hopeless.
Okay, let's just stop at that opening phrase, prisoners of hope. It sounds like a contradiction, right? A prisoner of hope? But it's this beautiful paradox. It's not about being trapped in despair. It's about being absolutely captive to this powerful, expectant hope that God's going to keep his promises, even after generations of exile and struggle. And that stronghold he mentions, that's God's protection. It's the ultimate safe house. And the promise to render double? Now, that's not just about getting back what you lost. This is pointing to a restoration that is so much greater, a blessing that's just overflowing.
And this is where the prophecy takes a sharp turn. It shifts from this beautiful promise of hope to a very specific, and for its time, just an astonishing prediction of a future war.
The imagery here is just so intensely military. You've got God portrayed as this divine archer, bending the kingdom of Judah like a bow and loading it with the kingdom of Ephraim like an arrow. It's a powerful declaration. God himself is empowering his people for a battle that's on the horizon.
Okay, now we have to pause, because this is the absolute kicker, the detail that is just staggering, the specific naming of Greece. You have to remember, when Zechariah is writing, Persia is the world power. Greece, it's not even a major player on the world stage yet, and certainly not an empire that's oppressing Judea. This is an incredibly specific prediction, centuries in advance.
And then, history catches up. You fast forward over 300 years after Zechariah, and what happens? The Maccabean Revolt. A direct life-or-death conflict between the sons of Zion and the sons of Greece, the Greek Seleucid Empire. It's just like the verse describes. This kind of precise historical alignment, well, it really challenges our whole understanding of time and prophecy.
So, the big question is, how is this victory actually won? Well, the text moves on to describe God's direct, almost cinematic intervention in the battle itself.
You see how the language just completely shifts here? It's not just about God arming his people anymore. No, this is about God himself fighting for them. He's the main combatant here, unleashing his own divine arsenal on their behalf.
The prophecy makes it crystal clear that this incredible victory isn't going to be because of some brilliant human strategy. It's the Lord's direct defense of his people that secures what should have been an impossible win. It's like a cosmic David and Goliath story.
But the outcome of this whole conflict is so much more than just a military victory. It's about the complete salvation and the glorious elevation of God's people.
And just notice this beautiful sudden shift in the metaphor right here in verse 16. We go from all this violent imagery, bows, arrows, swords, to the gentle care of a shepherd and the incredible splendor of royal jewels.
So the people are totally transformed. They're no longer these prisoners of hope. Now, they've become the treasured jewels in God's own crown. It signifies this immense value, this new honored status that they have.
This idea of an ensign is so powerful. Think of it like a battle standard or a flag, raised high on a hill for everyone to see. It's a rallying point, a symbol that shouts to the world, this is who we are, this is where we stand. And it connects to an even deeper theme when you look at other prophets.
See? The prophet Isaiah uses this exact same imagery of an ensign, but he points it towards something even bigger. He connects this idea to the ultimate messianic figure, the root of Jesse, who will himself become the banner, not just for Israel, but for the entire world.
And you know, the passage doesn't end with the clash of swords. It ends with this incredible outburst of praise. It's a celebration of God's goodness and beauty, and it shows up in some very real, tangible ways for his people. This vision of joyful prosperity, abundant grain and new wine, that's the ultimate fulfillment. That's the final answer to the prisoners of hope. It shows a future where they're not just safe, but they're absolutely thriving and joyful in a land of real peace.
And that brings us right back to our central question. When history lines up this perfectly with a prophecy written centuries before it happened, what does that suggest about divine foreknowledge? The story of the Maccabean revolt, seemingly foretold right here in Zechariah 9, really leaves us with that profound thought. It invites us to wonder if history is just a random sequence of events, or maybe, just maybe, part of a much larger unfolding story.